If your blood runs orange and blue, this is the pod for you. You're listening to Orange and Blue Bloods, hosted by EJ Stewart and Tommy Beer. Let's get to it, New York.
So, speaking of the Knicks and their success this season, it is another successful season under President Leon Rose. The team is now 42-30, 72 games into the season. That is actually a better record than Leon Rose's first full year of the Knicks when they were 41-31, which was their completed record after a shortened season due to COVID pause that kind of leaped into the next season. So we're now approaching award season, and everybody's talking. And there are Knicks that are up for awards. I'm sure we'll have these conversations. We talked a lot about quickly for sixth man. I think Tiz for coach of the year is a conversation. But what about executive of the year? Rose did sign Jalen Brunson to the team. It is one of the most impactful acquisitions in franchise history thus far. He made the trade for Josh Hart at the trade deadline, which has been the most impactful trade that was made at the trade deadline. The Knicks are 12-3, as Tommy mentioned, since that move. Do you think Leon Rose should be executive of the year? Like, I've kind of been banging the drum for a little bit, kind of trying to rally cages of Knicks fans and some of these NBA media say, hey, look what's happening. Look what Leon Rose has done. And I'm trying to raise this agenda again, because with the way the Knicks have played, with the team that they've built, and again, I look at their roster, I watch the way they played on Saturday and being like, this is a really talented team. Considering all the mistakes Leon Rose made last season in building that team, I feel like he's got to be the guy. I would pick him for executive of the year right now.
Yeah, I'd have to dig in and see what some of the other cases for some of the other contenders are. But make no mistake about it, he is at the very forefront of the conversation. You can make a very strong argument. I plan to do so at some point in the near future. Just kind of lay out from draft capital to picks. Some of the moves I questioned myself have really all turned up roses. We thought Jalen Brunson would be good. He's been great. And, whether you want to credit, his father signing on the coaching staff, whatever happened, whatever, they got knocked for going to watch Mitchell and Brunson play, and that, whatever, all the stuff that led up to it, Rose gets credit for pulling the trigger, getting a deal done, and making it happen. As you mentioned, arguably the best free agent signing in franchise history. Again, very early, but all we're basing it on in terms of executive year is this year. The Josh Hart trade has been brilliant. No two ways about it. We've mentioned him at the top, how important he's been, how important he will be. The RJ Barrett contract extension, it doesn't look great right now, but certainly not a cap killer, not an albatross contract. They didn't give him the max. Dude is still averaging right near, I think it's 19.9 points on the season. Even in a down year, still productive, and finds ways to help the team win when he's playing efficiently. Just for the Isaiah Hardenstein has paid tremendous dividends over the last 30 plus games or so. We struggled a little bit to kind of figure out how Tibbs wants to use him and get on the same page. And the decision, sometimes the best trades you make are the trades you don't. Sometimes the best trades are the trades you do not make. The decision not to trade Randall, when myself and a lot of us we're calling for him to kind of figure out, even if you had to take 75 cents of the dollar, obviously you would have had to essentially sell low on a guy that was a year removed from an all-NBA team. Tibbs held firm. Maybe that was because nobody else wanted to touch him. I'm sure that played a part in it. But make no mistake, he didn't. He decided not to sell at a discount, held on to Julius Randle, and Randle has responded with the best season of his NBA career. Sum it all up, and you have a supremely talented roster from top to bottom. And you have to give Rose for constructing that roster. I don't think there's any way to argue that he deserves that he deserves his flowers.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at the other candidates I put up against him, I think you look at clearly Kobe Altman of Cleveland. They make the trade for Donovan Mitchell, a team that missed the postseason. They should have made it. They had some injuries last year, but you missed the postseason. You add Donovan Mitchell. Right now, you're fourth in the Eastern Conference. Big move, changed the landscape of the franchise. That's definitely a guy I think is a candidate. I think Callum Booth in Denver, a team they just played, some of the ancillary moves they made. They didn't make any big moves, but bringing in Brown, I thought KCP was a spectacular move, and that is certainly paid dividends for sure. I think Booth is up there, and then I think Monty McNair. He hired Mike Brown, great hire, which I love the hire at the time. Drafted Keegan Murray, great move. And I know it's a year-to-year deal, so maybe you don't include the Halliburton thing. But in my head, I'm like, look, I mean,
I
that
was thinking
Halliburton
that
thing,
too. Yeah.
like you got to kind of think about that and think about what Sabonis has been for them now in his first full season with the Kings. So I think those are the candidates, I would say.
And the Herder move for Sacramento.
Yes, and the Herder move, absolutely. I forgot about Herder. Big move, absolutely. So to me, those are like your top 4 candidates.
Yeah.
I just think when I think of Leon, I'm thinking, okay, what was the move that was like the Trump move of all of these moves that were made? And I think Brunson, even over Donovan Mitchell for the Cavs, because the Cavs were a really good team last year, and now they're a really good team this year. You know, like they've improved, but I think a lot of what happened last season were the injuries and the lack of depth. Now you add Donovan Mitchell, now the depth, you don't need as much depth. You got guys Mitchell. So certainly that was a big move. But the Knicks, they were so rudderless last year. And not only did he make one Trump move, but he made 2, because he made the signing that put the Knicks in a different position. And then he made the trade deadline that then says, okay, now the Knicks are at an even different level and then secure their spot into the postseason. So all these guys, tremendous candidates, all having great seasons. I got love Kobe Altman. He's a New Yorker from Brooklyn. So so I always got respect for him there. But when I look at that, I say, how do you not pick Leon there?
Yeah, I think Mike Brown's going to win Coach of the Year. Then I could definitely see the Knicks and Kings finishing 1-2 in executive and Coach of the Year.
Yeah,
so maybe Brown finishes first and Tibbs gets second in Coach of the Year voting, and then maybe Leon gets 1 and McBride gets 2 in the in executive of the year, somewhere along those lines. But yeah, make no mistake about it. Huge credit to the Knicks front office, Worldwide West, and then all the decision makers that played a part now, in making this happen.
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll see what happens. Again, the award season is here. We've seen plenty of the conversation about these awards. We'll be talking about the cases for Tibbs for Coach of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year. And I mean, I think Jalen for Most Improved Player also has got to be in the conversation as well. So we'll be breaking down those awards as we get closer to the end of the season. But that's going to do it.